Hello and welcome to the news at 5. I am Olumide Macaulay. We begin with security as it relates to the north-central region of the country. 13 suspected kidnappers and bandit kingpins have been neutralized. Addressing a news conference on the activities of troops in various theaters of operation, the Director of Defense Media Operations, Major General Marcus Kange, says bandits terrorizing Plateau and Benue states have been eliminated. He added that troops also foiled an oil theft of over 28 million naira and destruction of 17 illegal oil sites in the Niger Delta region. To the health sector, access to quality health care through sufficient financing plans needs the input of all levels of government for it to work. This is coming from the Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Mohammed Ali Pate. Speaking at the National Policy Dialogue on Reimagining Health Financing in Nigeria, he says Nigeria's present challenges mean it can forge a healthcare narrative that aligns with specific health needs, which in the long run will be less expensive. He believes focus should be placed on women who need antenatal care, children who need vaccines, farmers and traders in remote places, the elderly, as well as security agencies who often need emergency care.
All levels of government are key. Federal government, our states, local governments, and we all must take a lead in financing and strengthening our healthcare system at a decisive moment when we're seeing the winds of change in the global financing or development landscape. And the last 8 months certainly had presented us with an important opportunity for reset in the face of still continuing massive challenges. If we stop back and think, there are many women in this country who, without the ability to afford health care when they are pregnant in rural areas, will struggle to get the care they need. They risk losing their lives. Children who could lose their lives because they have not been able to access vaccines, for instance, to prevent measles. It's about people. It's about people in remote areas, traders, farmers, teachers, policemen, military, every one of us, to be able to afford life-saving interventions. But at the same time, the challenges we face and the fiscal reality we are contending with means that we have to forge a narrative that is uniquely ours.
To water transportation, the National Inland Waterways Authority, NIWA, will set up a task force and community safety committee to enlighten and enforce rules along waterways in Niger State following the boat mishap at Gisawa in Borugu local government area where 27 people have been confirmed dead. This was made known by the General Manager, Business Development of the agency, Mr. Olawale Adetola, while speaking on our breakfast program, The Morning Brief. He also expressed his condolences to the people and state government, adding that investigations are ongoing and the agency is making effort to avoid a recurrence of such a tragic incident in the future.
Let me first express the authorities' condolence to the people of Niger about this recent boat mishap. And we are doing all we can as an authority to make sure that things like this doesn't happen. So I believe what must have caused this accident is still under investigation. But from the look of things, I think the boat ran into a log or a hard object inside the water. That was what caused the accident. As of today, it's 27. That is the number the National Inland Waterways Authority has and the Niger State Emergency Management Agency. We are looking into setting up community safety committee so that apart from our sensitization and enlightenment, they will go into the nooks and crannies with our staff to still continue to tell them of the need to do this. Then for the operators, based on our investigation, if it is discovered that it is the operator that is at fault concerning the incident, that operator will be prosecuted. And we are looking into setting up task force too for all these high-prone areas of boat mishap So in whatever way we can reduce both Mishap and the consequent fatalities, we are looking into it.
Ahoda West local government area, one of the flood-prone areas in River State, is bracing up for another round of heavy rainfall and possible flooding, with authorities putting proactive measures in place to mitigate the impact. During the last major flood emergency, the council was amongst the worst hit, as high waters from the Arashi River and the torrential rainfall submerged communities and cut off the east-west road, leaving residents stranded for weeks. At a handover ceremony, the administrator of the council, Promise Jacob, says 27 higher ground locations are being sought as camps for the internally displaced persons. Security and healthcare is also being strengthened.
We rented an official office and living accommodation for the military joint task force in the local government area. We did a tour of the local government area to enable us to identify and locate and establish and recommend to NEMA the internally displaced persons camp because of the required preparedness on how to respond to the predicted 2025 flood and emergency. Within the mandate of welfare and discipline of civil servants His Excellency gave to us, we have considered and paid fully all outstanding first 28 days allowances to various civil servants that were transferred to Ahoda West local government area before we came. As all of us are aware, His Excellency Vice Admiral retired Ibok Etekwe Iba, CFR, commissioned the remodeled police divisional headquarters building in Akenema and also commissioned the remodeled primary health center in Oiba.
After undertaking a tour of the council offices, the newly elected chairman, Eugene Ekpele, commended the efforts and pledged to consolidate on the achievements.
Yeah, the handover have taken place already. I don't have to waste time. I have to follow up. According to from the handover list, there are some things that he outlined there, which I have to follow from here. Speed up, without waiting for anybody. But the government is continual process. Like the security, the education, the health, the agriculture, and etc. and etc. That are in the list, I'll follow up. And because of this flooding system in agriculture aspect of it, I think we intended going to a product that will be lasting 3 months, so that the agriculture system, the flood will not destroy and damage the agricultural product.
Now, the Imo State government, in partnership with the federal government, has launched the Maternal and Neonatal Mortality Reduction Initiative, MAMI. According to the state government, the program is designed to reduce infant and maternal mortality and align with national and global health targets, especially the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development No. 3, which focuses on good health and well-being. Our correspondent, Itokwe Kutei, reports.
Federal and state health officials are seated in this hall in Owerri, Imo State capital, alongside development partners for the official launch of Maternal and Neonatal Mortality Reduction Initiative, MAMI. The initiative, which is jointly driven by the Federal Ministry of Health and Imo State government, adopts a 6-pronged approach to improve antenatal and postnatal services, deploy more community health workers in all 305 wards, use of technology to track high pregnancies, and more.
There is no reason a woman should die giving birth to another life. And children shouldn't die from preventable illnesses. So we have gathered together today to roll out this program, MAMI, which is Maternal and Neonatal Mortality Reduction, Intervention and Initiative in Imo State.
Maternal and infant mortality have posed serious public health challenges in Nigeria, and Imo State has not been exempted. However, today we draw a clear line in the sand. Through MAMI, we are deploying evidence-based interventions, community-driven strategy, and technology-enabled solutions to ensure that no woman dies while giving birth or no child dies from preventable causes.
For the federal government, the initiative underscores Nigeria's commitment to 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development Goals, especially SDGs number 3, good health and well-being.
The Minister for Health thought it very wise to leverage on efforts that we have been making through the years and see how can we improve on already existing programs and make it better. And so we are here to launch the MAMI project that has to do with sector-wide approach to ensuring that maternal mortality is reduced, to ensuring that there are no more deaths. We've been doing, they say, if you do the same thing over and over again and it's not working, it means that the person is out of their mind. So we're using a new approach.
Some development partners describe the launch as a timely and strategic response to one of the most pressing health challenges in Nigeria.
The MAMI implementation workshop is a restatement to order collective resolve to save mothers and newborns, and HSDF pledges its continued support to ensure success. Together, with all hands on deck, we can achieve the shared goal of reducing maternal and neonatal mortality in Imo State and beyond.
For the federal and state governments, the Maternal and Neonatal Mortality Reduction Initiative, MAMI, is more than a health program. It's a partnership to safeguard the lives of mothers, protect children, and build a healthier future. Ejitopakute, Channels Television News.
Staying in the health sector, but this time to Kaduna State, where Governor Obasani has approved the implementation of the 2024 Consolidated Health Salary Structure (CONHES) and Hazard Allowance for Health Workers. The chairman of the Kaduna State branch of the National Association of Nigeria Nurses and Midwives, Ishaku Yakubu, who made this known at a press briefing, says the governor's salary approval has ended years of frustration for health workers. He noted that for the longest time, health workers in the state had been least paid in the country, a situation that triggered a mass exodus of professionals to neighboring states, federal institutions, and private health institutions.
We are glad today to inform the general public that His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Kaduna State, has heard our cry and has decided to graciously approve the implementation of the 2024 CONHES and CONMES and hazard allowance for the CONHES beneficiaries. And we are also glad to announce that the governor has said the implementation is with immediate effect. We want to assure the governor that this gesture that he has done to us will result in commitment to work and more efficiency and productivity from the health workers in Kaduna State.
Chairman of the South-South Development Commission, Mr. Chibudom Wuche, says the commission will not work in isolation, but in collaboration with relevant stakeholders of the region to avoid duplication of projects and efforts. He stated this at the inaugural board meeting of the commission in Abuja. He also noted that the commission, by virtue of the South-South Development Commission Act, has been given a clear and urgent charge to identify underlying causes of underdevelopment in the region and formulate practical solutions and sustainable projects for the benefit of the people.
The South-South Development Commission, led by Mr. Chibudom Wuche, is holding its maiden board meeting in Abuja 1 week after its inauguration to discuss its plans for the next 3 months. By virtue of the South-South Development Commission Act, the board has been mandated to examine the overall development of the region, particularly these priority areas: railway and road transportation, industries, agriculture, telecommunication, electricity, and urban and housing development.
My distinguished board members,
the board chairman promises the strategic deployment of funds to ensure progress and collaboration with relevant stakeholders.
We shall meticulously address these priority areas by strategically deploying resources to ensure steady and sustainable progress. We will equally prioritize the empowerment of our youth and women who have endured the adverse effects of oil production, particularly amid the region's unprecedented unemployment levels, caused partly by our region being the oil-bearing part of our country. To achieve our mandate, we shall not work in isolation, but in collaboration with relevant stakeholders, such as the National Assembly and the governors of the South-South states. There will be constant consultation with other development commissions, like the NDDC, sister commissions, the federal government agencies, and state government agencies. We will work cooperatively and harmoniously to avoid duplication of projects and efforts.
The Managing Director of the Commission, Ms. Usoro Akpabio, highlights the plans by the Commission to embrace digital transformation.
From smart infrastructure planning to e-governance, from digital agriculture to clean energy, from fintech to telemedicine, and we will be integrating technology across every sector to increase efficiency, transparency, and inclusion. We will encourage partnerships that bring global technologies, solutions to local challenges. Our youths are digital natives. With the right platforms and tools, they can lead a new wave of innovation that puts the South-South on the map.
The board is hoping to submit its 2026 budget to President Tinubu not later than September 30. However, it is promising to work hard to transform the South-South region into a hub of opportunities, innovation, and prosperity. From Abuja, Victoria Longjohn, Channels Television News.
The Lagos State government has re-emphasized that obtaining an environmental impact assessment (EIA) approval is compulsory for all projects developments across the state and is not negotiable. The Special Advisor on Environment, Mr. Kunle Rotimi Akodu, made this known during a stakeholders' engagement on environmental impact assessment for practitioners in real estate sector and project developers in Lagos at the Watercress Hotel, Ikeja. He says all developers and builders must subject their projects to EIA process before its commencement.
The real estate sector is one of the fastest growing businesses in Lagos, where quite a number of estates are springing up across the metropolis to reduce housing deficits in the state. While developers enjoy the season of delivering housing projects, the Lagos State government is set to enforce environmental impact assessments for proposed development projects in the state. In achieving the goal, the state government, through the Ministry of Environment and Water Resources, is engaging all stakeholders in the real estate sector and developers in the state on the need to abide by environmental regulations.
Its goal is to identify potential negative and positive implications of a planned project early on and to provide effective strategies to avoid, decrease, or mitigate any negative impacts.
All necessary steps that must be adhered to include submission of letter of intent and terms of reference for the conduct of EIA for the proposed project, registration of the proposed project with the ministry by obtaining project's registration form, and 9 other approvals that will help ensure the protection of the state environment and public health.
The recommendation for approval are not done single-handedly by us. We consider the details of the report as a technical team, and then recommendations are made to the ministry for approval. Once your draft EIA report is submitted to us, in less than a month, you are likely going to get your approval if it is deserving of approval.
Some other issues that need clarification are thrown open as the possibility of reducing the approvals.
What we're responsible to in terms of the EIA laws, that's one. because there's a lot of confusion in that regard between the federal and the state.
During these 11 stages of EIA process clearance, you just form. It will help you.
The state's special advisor on environment insists that environmental impact assessment is a critical environmental management tool that must be embraced by both private and public sector in order to achieve sustainable development.
It is now mandatory for project developers in the state to subject their projects to the EIA processes. These include estate development, building projects from 5 floors and above, or 8 apartments and above.
The Lagos State government says the EIA process is backed by the EIA Act Cap E12 LFN 2004 and the Lagos State Environmental Management and Protection Law 2017, which makes it mandatory for all major developments to subject such to the EIA process and obtain appropriate approval before commencement.
President Bola Tinubu has commenced a 10-day vacation as part of his 2025 annual leave. According to a statement signed by his Special Advisor on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, the president will spend his 10-day break, that is, between France and the UK, after which he will return to Nigeria. His leave comes barely a week after he returned from a state visit to Brazil, where he met with President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva and other senior officials. He also oversaw the signing of 5 memoranda of understanding, covering aviation, foreign affairs, science and technology, and agriculture. He also held meetings with investors and the Nigerian diaspora community in Brazil. In business news, the National Pension Commission, PENCOM, has released a new directive aimed at standardizing the methodology for calculating and reporting investment performance across pension portfolios. Under the new guidelines, PFAs are required to calculate the rate of return over a 36-month period and convert it into an equivalent annual rate expressed as a percentage up to 4 decimal places. The circular, signed by PENCOM's head of the Surveillance Department, A.M. Salim, outlines a comprehensive framework designed to enhance transparency, promote long-term investment strategy, and reduce short-term decision-making amongst pension fund administrators, PFAs. The federal government, through the Presidential Initiative on Compressed Natural Gas, has denied reports of subsidy removal and increased price of compressed natural gas, CNG. This follows the recent news story that suggested that the price increased from 230 naira to 450 naira per standard cubic meter. In a statement issued to journalists on Thursday, the PCNG explained that while pricing matters fall under the purview of the appropriate regulatory agencies, no directive or policy has been issued by the federal government to alter CNG pump prices. The organization noted that the recent pump price adjustment announced by certain operators are purely private sector decisions and not the outcome of any government directive or policy. Meanwhile, the federal government has assured Nigerians that CNG will always remain significantly cheaper, cleaner, and more affordable than PMS and diesel. The securities, that is the Central Securities Clearance System, CSCS, says Nigeria's capital market will migrate to a 2+2, that is a T+2 settlement cycle from November 28, following the approval by the Securities and Exchange Commission. The Chief Executive Officer of CSCS, Haruna Jallo Waziri, who announced the development in a statement, described the move as a major milestone that would align the local market with global standards. He says the new settlement cycle, which replaces the current T+3 system, is expected to enhance liquidity, cut counterpart risk, and strengthen investor confidence. He also explained that the Settlement Cycle Review Committee, SCRC, coordinated by the CSCS, carried out a multi-phase assessment and submitted its framework to the SEC for review and approval. That's it on the news at 5. Thanks for watching. I'm Olumide Macaulay.